Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern bank in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the outside of the bank, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well. Fun fact, I am hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Let me know down there in the comment section if, where, when and how you found me. This is the amount of space required to make the build, including a handy grid, which you may choose to copy, that will show you the starting position. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 2 quartz bricks on top of each other. 1, 2. Extend each block to the right by 1. And then place 5 smooth quartz slab extending right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a quartz brick on the end. And then place 6 stone bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then a quartz brick on the end. Place 5 smooth quartz slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by 2 quartz bricks. 1, 2. We then want to extend the quartz bricks down to the ground, and also 1 row backwards, just like this. Then place another row of 5 smooth quartz bricks, or rather smooth quartz slabs, extending backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by 3 quartz bricks. 1, 2, 3. 5 more slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 bricks. 1, 2, 3. 5 slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then finally 2 quartz bricks, just like this. We can then extend these quartz bricks down to the ground and 1 row across the back of the build. Then we will place 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smooth quartz slabs extending across the back, followed by 8 quartz bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 5 more slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 bricks. 1, 2. Which we will join down to the ground. And we will extend 1 row forwards towards the front of the build. And now to connect to the front, we will place 5 more slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 3 bricks. 1, 2, 3. 5 more slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 3 bricks. 1, 2, 3. 5 slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quartz brick on the end. Join down. And then we are just going to extend the corner inwards. And everything should connect together rather nicely, like this. Next, we are going to add 2 rows of quartz pillar along the inside of most of the bank. The primary places that we want to place the quartz pillar are where we have the smooth quartz slabs. The effect that this will give us, if we have a look from the outside, is this. So it's not really necessary for us to do it anywhere else. We just want the effect that I just showed you. So anywhere that we have these slabs along the outside of the build and the pillar along the inside. Now I think that it's a good idea to connect any of the bricks that we have around the outside of the build down to the ground, just so that we are cleaning up the foundation a little bit. We may have to change some of these blocks later, but for now we are just going to fill the base of the bank in using stone bricks. Now that we have filled in the floor, we will return all the way back to the front of the bank. And on top of these 4 corner blocks, we will stack an additional row of 14 quartz bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we will just place 14 blocks on top of each one of these 4 blocks. This is one of the 4 corners of the bank. We have to do the exact same thing on each one of the 3 remaining sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Next, let's head all the way back to the front of the build, and let's work on the entrance area. So, we have to extend these 2 rows of quartz brick up as high as the 4 corners of the build. So these 2 rows here on the left, and these 2 rows here on the right. And now, we can place black concrete here, a row of 1, 2, 3, and here 1, 2, 3, and then we can place black stained glass pane connecting to the wall, and a row here, and we can place a row of black stained glass block across the top, just like this, and we can place a row of smooth quartz slab along the lower half of the glass block, and we can extend that forwards and out, just like so. We will then place a row of quartz bricks on top of the glass, and we can even just extend those 1 row forwards also. And then we are just going to add an additional row of smooth quartz slabs here. What we also want to do is place a row of 4 glass here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like this. with a row of 2 quartz brick on top, and then 4 more glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we want just a single quartz brick on top, followed by 2 black concrete, 1, 2, and then just another quartz brick. So the structure looks like this, and this is rather handy as we can extend each one of these blocks across and through to the opposite side of the build where possible. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second, but we're just extending these across here, and then we can take this quartz brick row and extend through and across to the opposite side, and you can see that there is another row just below as well. And we fill this window section in with black stained glass also. And then this entire middle section in here, we extend all of the glass across. And then as you can see, we have a row of quartz bricks. And then there will be 2 rows of black concrete. And then just a final row of quartz bricks. And let's just take a look from the outside. Yeah, that is looking pretty good. But we do have to alter this ever so slightly in that we place a row of smooth quartz stairs here below the black concrete, and upside down smooth quartz stair above the black concrete. Just like so. That does not look bad at all. That's looking pretty nice. I think that this is the front done for the meantime. Does that sentence make sense? Done for the meantime. Well, anyway, moving around to the right side, we are going to extend up the rows of quartz bricks so that they are also as high as the 4 corners of the build, or I guess also just as high as the front of the build now. So we extend this row up, and this row as well. And we also just want to extend the rows up along the inside as well. Next, we are actually going to do a very similar thing as what we did on the front. We are going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, extending up from the bottom to the top here, followed by 2 rows of quartz bricks, and then 4 more glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a row of quartz bricks, 2 black concrete, and quartz brick. And if we take a look, so as you can see, that entire row is just sat 1 row inside of the actual frame to maintain a nice sense of depth, and then we are able to just extend each one of these blocks just across and through to the back of the build. And then above this will be 2 rows of quartz brick. And then we'll have 4 more rows of glass. And then it's another row of quartz brick, followed by 2 rows of black concrete, and then finally just a row of quartz brick along the top here. And that is how the walls look, almost. We have to extend these middle rows of quartz brick outwards, and underneath the black concrete row here we place a row of smooth quartz stair, and along the top we have upside down smooth quartz stair. So we'll just have something that should look like this, which is perfect. Now let's move around to the back of the build where things are ever so slightly different, but not too different. So we have a row of 8 quartz brick here. We want to extend the left 2 rows and the right 2 rows all the way up to the very top of the build. So just equaling the height of all of the other rows. So here, and here, just like this. So we are going to extend these rows inwards, but we might very well remove some of these blocks when we work on the interior, as we actually have to maximize the amount of space that we have inside of the build. So we have those 2 rows sorted. We can extend these rows of quartz brick all the way through and across though, so we can divide the back of the build up in a similar way as we did the rest of the build. So we can place those 2 rows and we have to extend them 1 row inwards. It's primarily the lower set of windows that are different. The upper half of the build is very, very much the same. We can then, on this upper half, place 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, followed by our quartz brick, 2 black concrete, quartz brick, and now let's just extend all of these blocks through and across and back. And then we are going to place smooth quartz stair along the base of the black concrete and upside down smooth quartz stair along the top of the black concrete, just like this. Then we are going to fill in these windows a little bit. So we will actually add a row of smooth quartz block here and here, and we will fill in between with black stained glass, just like this. We will fill this window in with black stained glass as well. And then this window is either going to be grey concrete or black concrete. I did also consider, so grey concrete is like such a stark contrast to the rest of the build. I think I might actually use smooth quartz block, but we might change it a little bit later on. So this particular corner of the build is where we have a kind of a vault with a bunch of lock boxes in it, so the wall has to be kind of like blanked out like this. Moving along to the final side here, we are once again going to extend these quartz brick rows all the way up to the top of the build to equal the height of the rest of the rows. There we go, so here, and this row right here. Perfect. And then we will extend these rows 1 row inwards. And then we can divide this area up a little bit more by extending the horizontal rows of quartz brick through, just like this. So this is in the same position as the quartz brick throughout the entire rest of the build. That's not just a random placement. And then we have a row here. Actually, we do not. We have a row here along the inside, just like so. And then we have our 2 rows of black concrete on top of our row of quartz brick just up at the top. And then quartz brick along the top of the black concrete. Stairs underneath. Upside down stairs along the top. And then we have to extend our quartz bricks in a row. Then we will place black stained glass along the top of our quartz brick. And there we go. So that is the upper half of the build, and the lower half is very, very similar. So these two right side windows we just fill in with glass. So the middle and the right side, I should say. But this area here is, once again, this is part of the vault. So we're just going to seal this up with smooth quartz, just like this. Again, originally it was grey concrete, but I'll let you guys kind of like figure it out for yourselves in a sense. So we can keep it like this. I did also consider just like quartz bricking this entire area as well, but I think that this looks good. Anyway, next we are going to place a row of black concrete all the way along the top of our walls. We then want to fill the entire top of the bank in using black concrete. If you would like to have a slightly brighter bank, then you can just fill this in with glass as well. But I'm going for black concrete. There's only one part of the bank in the lobby where you would be able to see up into the ceiling. And maybe we can create kind of like a skylight for that a little bit later on. But it's a very small payoff. So we'll just fill this in with black concrete for now. And we can always alter things later if we so choose. And now that we have filled the entire top of the bank in using black concrete, we can add upside down smooth quartz stairs all the way around it. Next, we are going to make the stairs to the bank by extending the stone brick row here, one row forwards. And then we can add stone brick stairs along the outside of this. And then we can place another row of stone brick stairs below and along the outside of that, just like so. I don't know whether I want this or not, but we have the option of adding a door handle to the entrance of the bank. I think that kind of further illuminates that this is the entrance. And we also have to add a sign. So throw down loom, open it up, black banner in there with some white dye. We have to write out the word bank in letters. So B is pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, fess, and base. Next is A. This is pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, fess. Next is N. This is pale dexter, pale sinister, bend. Lastly, we have K. This is pale dexter, bend, and bend sinister. We do have to make something for the sign to sit on though, so we actually have to place 2 rows of 4 black concrete just directly above the entrance area here. And we can place B, A, N, K just like this. And that's perfect. The last very minor detail that you may want to add to the outside is just removing all of the remaining grass and grid and replacing it with your pavement material of choice. So mine is always smooth stone, but if you use something else for the pavement / sidewalks of your city, or whatever you call them, wherever you're from, then use whatever material you use for that, but mine is smooth stone. And I'm also just going to add it around the edge of the bank as well. I did originally consider adding like flowers or plants or leaves here, but then it kind of ruins the fact that we have the pillar quartz, or quartz pillar. Which one is it? Quartz pillar. I always get it the wrong way round. I swear that they changed it. The quartz pillar effect, which I really like, so it's up to you. That is an option though, if you want to add some plants or something around there. I did also just consider adding like some leafage just here, just like a couple of bushes, kind of centered tastefully either side of the steps. I don't think that looks too bad. Before we head inside, I want to make a banner that we will be using quite a bit. So throw down loom, open it up, white banner in there with black dye, and apply the pale pattern. Grab that, put that back in, and apply the fast pattern. Put white dye in there, apply pale dexter, followed by the chief pattern, and that is, at its core, a clock. But you can add any colour of dye around the clock, and, well, then you have a coloured clock, and there you go. It can be any colour that you like. So I'm going for red, just for a nice little pop of colour, and we are going to use this a lot. With the entire outside of the bank complete, we can now head inside and work on the interior. The first thing that we are going to make inside the bank are a couple of ATMs, or cash machines. Place 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete here, and 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete here. Remove these 3 blocks, and maybe even the ones behind, actually. And replace these blocks with light grey concrete. We can then place a cyan terracotta here, a polished andesite stair here, a button here, and a painting here. And that's an ATM. Let's do the exact same thing over this side. So we've learned our lesson. We want to remove these blocks, place 2 rows of light grey concrete on the left and right side, cyan terracotta here, stair here, button here, and then a painting here. It can be any painting, it doesn't really matter too much. We then have to make some seating. So the seating is going to start here. It's a smooth quartz stair, which we will extend across 1, 2, and then 3. We want to flare it like this. We'll have another stair here, and then in front of this, a flipped up dark oak trapdoor, which will extend across by 2, and then flip up another trapdoor just like this. And then we want to stick a lantern on the table and a flower pot, poppy, just like this. Really simple design. Same thing over here, it's the exact same. So sideways stair in this position, extend across 2, flare out to this side, stair here, and then trapdoor here, 2 here, 1 here, and then the same thing, lantern, flower pot, and then a poppy. So 2 nice tasteful tables. Next, we will add a couple of potted plants here and here, just kind of either side of the tables with oak leaves on top, just kind of like right by the entrance. In addition to this, we want some smaller little seating areas. So we'll have a quartz stair here with a small table just in front of it, directly in front of the stair. And then you can have whatever you want on this table, more light or a flower pot and a tulip. I'm going for a red tulip. I want to kind of have red as the accent colour in here, but I don't want poppies everywhere, so that's why I chose tulip. Or tulip. Tulip sounds better for some reason. It also sounds like candy. Tulips. Made up names for made up sweets aside, Now we can work on the back part of the bank. So to begin, we want to place a row of grey concrete that extends from that corner of the window all the way over to this corner window, just like this. We then want to count along this row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extend this fourth block all the way down to the ground. And then the block next to it as well. Leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we will extend these 2 rows down to the ground. Then leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, and then we will extend these 2 rows down to the ground, just like so. And we are going to extend all of these blocks just all the way to the back of the build. So each one of these grey concretes, the vertical rows at the very least, will just extend back. We probably, almost certainly, will have to remove some of these later, but I think it's easier to do that than try and work around them. Yeah, we will definitely have to remove at least quite a few of these, but that's okay. We can work on that later. Next, we are going to add a row of smooth quartz slab, connecting these 2 middle areas together, just like this. And we will place smooth quartz stair here, and here, and here, and here. On the opposite side of the slab, we will place a row of grey concrete with a stair right in the middle, and then a rail in front of the stair. And then we will place a barrier here and a painting here. And we are also missing a button. So the button will go here and here. But we want the exact same thing in just both of these booths, just like this. And then we also want to create a back wall to these. So the wall goes right here. So we want to have just one gap behind the stairs, and then we can seal up these little rooms just like so. So just one gap behind the stairs, and then we will use smooth quartz extending all the way up. We also want to fill the top of these rooms in with grey concrete, just like so. And then we will have sea lanterns above the booths, just like this. And we also want to have a clock above and behind where the stairs are. And in addition to this, you can have little paintings on the wall if you would like as well, which I have in my inventory, but I just went looking for them for some reason. I have in my hotbar rather, but I just went looking for them. So you can have one there. And then it depends whether you want to be able to like naturally get into this room. So if you like, you can actually create an entrance / exit. It would probably go, I don't know where would be best for it to go. So like maybe this row right here. So you can create like an entrance / exit extending through these booths if you like, but you can't go through here because that's where the vault is. So if you did want to actually be able to walk through, why don't we actually make the vault room now? So come all the way over to this left area here and place an iron door in this position, with smooth quartz block left and right of the door, a beacon above the door, and then just cut that off with a smooth quartz. To get in and out of the vault, we will just use a stone button like this. And inside of the vault, I am now remembering why I chose grey concrete for the walls. So this wall here to the right, we can remove one row of it, but we are stuck with the grey concrete colour. So it doesn't really matter so much for this back wall. This back wall, we are just going to have a bunch of looms because I think that they I don't think it matters which way they go as long as they're sideways as well. We're going to have a bunch of looms just on their sides like this. And we are just going to fill the top of this in. Yeah, you see, So, for the sake of matching, I think that we must make this side wall grey. I just think it looks better this way, in my opinion. But if you don't care, then you don't care. But let's add a ceiling to this room as well. There we go. Yeah, doesn't it feel a bit better? Yeah, I think that it's nicer this way. Okay, so in the middle of this room, we're going to have a little table, because in movies there's always a little table where you can examine your lockbox, whatever antique trinket was sat in there. So on this table, we're just going to stick a lantern, item frame, diamond in the item frame, and you can of course just stack more diamonds and stuff if you like. Anything that you think might be nice and valuable on this table. Maybe a painting just above the table because it's nice and tasteful, and a clock banner in here so that we can keep track of time whilst we're counting our millions. Anyway, we are also... So this is optional. These already kind of look like boxes to me, but you could add some signs to them, which I would like to do like... whoops. Which I would like to do like along each one of these. But then, like, if you stick the signs like fully across, then they kind of lose their shape. Maybe they should probably be numbered as well, right? I think it just makes sense. And I don't know why I'm numbering them down. That seems like such a weird choice, but here we are. There we go. So maybe we can have it like this, and I like the entire wall of them. That's the thing. So the only thing I can think of is to add buttons to the side, and I think that looks pretty good. This is just a nice little chill room. We can sit here and count all of our diamonds, and we can just do an evil villain laugh every single time we pull a new one out of our lockbox. Next, we are going to head back outside, and we are going to go around this corner here, and we actually have to make a little seating area. So we'll place a smooth quartz stair here and here, scaffolding in between, flower pot here, poppy here, and a tasteful 1x1 directly above the poppy. Which is another... Guys, somebody... somebody take note of that. That is perfect. And then we are going to move all the way up over here, and we're just going to stick another stair in this corner, scaffolding, flower pot, poppy, and then I think like we're just going to have like a light grey terracotta here and oak leaf here, so just an ever so slightly different setup. We're going to have a door. Did I decide on the door being here? Okay, so we have to have one door right here, and then I think it's actually better for us to have a door here. That way, we can just seal this up, and we can have a clock in between, and that I think just looks much better. So now, let's head into this room, where we have to remove... Oh, I don't know, all of the grey concrete that's in here, so we'll just get rid of all of this. And what this room is, but let's just stick this here for a second. So what this room is, ooh, okay, so we can't get rid of that. You know what, yes we can, because it won't really affect anything, so we'll just replace this with smooth quartz, just like so. And then we have to remove... these chiseled... Oh, my painting. Slash banner. Yeah, we can remove this. And then we can add... Let's go with smooth quartz just across this back wall, because we've got enough grey in here already. And... can we remove... Well, we can remove the inside of this door frame and replace this with smooth quartz as well. The white room. Here we go. Fantastic. So in here, we are going to have a loom all the way over here in the corner. It kind of looks like a printer, especially if you place it backwards the way that I intended to the first time, but failed. We will then have a smooth quartz stair here with 3 light grey concrete extending across like this. Barrier here, which we can then stick a painting. Here, the poppy painting returns. Rail here. We then need a button here. I also want a clock banner here. We also want smooth quartz stair here, light grey terracotta here, oak leaf here, And then a painting, I think. Maybe like this. So that's fantastic. The guy in this office would love that painting. And then we will remove... I don't know who that guy is. And then we will remove all of this. And do we go with white for the ceiling also? Or do we go with grey? Because we've already got a grey room. So maybe it might be nice for a bit of contrast. But then too much white looks like an actual, like, padded room. So I'm thinking maybe we do go for grey. We could use any material in our arsenal, and we're just sticking to smooth quartz. We could even use chiseled. That might be a little bit better, although it looks a little bit more like padding, actually, which is funny. Maybe we'll keep it this way anyway. So, here we go. This is meant to just be kind of like a private, like, manager's office or something. So, fantastic. That leaves just one thing left for us to do. We have to head all the way back into the lobby area here. And we have to create a ceiling. So, we're just going to fill this area in with grey concrete, just like so. We can add some tasteful sea lanterns. Maybe just one, like where the plant is, like this, I think. We have to... So, I'll let you guys decide. So, does this look better like this? Like, kind of just nice and open? So, this is a fine place that we can leave it. Like, we've got all of those windows, so that looks pretty good. What we could even do is emulate the windows that we already have. So, like... We can install, like, I don't know how to set, but like a fake set of windows. So, like, we can create a frame like this. So, it kind of, like, follows on from the pattern of the rest of the windows. I like this idea a lot. I'm going to give you guys two completely different options. And I'm going to see which ones I like as well. Because this, I think, will work rather nicely. So... This is kind of like a nice natural continuation of the inside of the bank. So like something like this, it kind of feels a little bit more grander. We could... that actually leaves the possibility of adding like a second story, which I did actually consider in the construction of this bank whilst I was designing it. Like a second story with like some more officers or something would be cool. But I couldn't find anywhere to place some stairs, to tell you the truth, or an elevator that wasn't like completely intrusive. So I think this looks pretty good, doesn't it? Like this looks pretty good, and we could even have like a cheeky set of stairs up there in the corner, and we could have some more like booths and maybe even an office. Or alternatively, the original plan was this. So above this window here, we will place a grey concrete and extend forwards 1, 2, 3, 4. So above and in front of the grey concrete like this, we place a white stained glass and extend forwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then extend right, forwards, and then right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, right, that way by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then in, back, across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just in and then back. So we have kind of like a circular shape, just like this. And then we would have added end rods on top of the corners of the circles. I know, circles don't typically have corners, but guess what? This is a special circle. Did I mention that we add chains on top of the end rods to connect to the roof? I don't think I even said that, but I guess you guys can see it happening. So, the plan was to add this pretty cool light fixture here, and then to black out the remaining part of the ceiling. So we would place grey concrete around the white concrete, like the glass like this, the white glass, not white concrete. We haven't used any white concrete. That doesn't make any sense. Just being careful here just to fill in all of these gaps. Okay, so now, if we drop down... Okay, so that... I mean, that looks pretty cool, no? That I like. So, originally there wasn't even anything here, like we couldn't see any windows, but I think that this looks very cool. That looks very grand. I really like this. Okay, that's nice. So even if we weren't to add anything up there, then we've kind of got the appearance that we do have something up there, which is just as good, in my opinion. So then, underneath this area, so we've made kind of like a rectangle, right? And I actually have to measure this out, like using actual blocks, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to figure out where to place this, and I want to get in the right position. Maybe we do it just inside of the empty space here. So, I'm extending down from each one of the 4 corners, air quote over the word corners of glass. So here, and then that would be, let's just cross this here, no, here, yeah. So here, we are just going to, in these positions, place carpet, just to mark this out. And I just want to have a rug right in the middle of the room. That is a mixture of white, grey, light grey. So just 3 colours. And I'm trying to make it so that I don't repeat a colour next to itself. So it's not that tricky. I'm trying to make it so that there's not too much of one particular colour, so like grey here, but unfortunately there are some limitations. So like here I'm kind of stuck, but we can place like a white here, then a grey here, and then actually see, so that's so much white there, but we're trying to use, I get that that doesn't look too bad though. So we want a rug like this size, just right in the middle, just like underneath the kind of like empty space. And once again, I don't want the colours to repeat too much, so I think that we might have built ourselves into a corner here as well. So I guess the rug is mostly white by the looks of it, but that's fine, I guess. So grey here, light grey here, there we go. So none of, basically they can touch diagonally, but they can't touch next to each other, and I think that's fine. That's a nice size, and it kind of sits just, yeah, there we go. So that's absolutely perfect. I love how that's turned out. All we have to do now is just add some potted plants here and here, because I forgot to do that earlier because I am forgetful. But that's, yeah. Guys, I think that we're done. We're not going to put anything up here. This is purely decorative, I think, although you would be able to add a set of stairs here, but it would kind of ruin the flow of this hallway. But you could, if you wanted to. It is an option. And with that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our modern bank into our city. There is only one place in the city for modern builds, and that is in the modern suburbs, which is flagged to have a huge renovation in the very near future. So just as with all of the other modern builds we have made recently, we are going to place it on the outskirts of the modern suburbs, awaiting the day that we get to place all of these together in harmony where they belong. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also, consider becoming a channel member. You will gain access to loyalty badges, some fun emojis, and a monthly download for every single build used in our city. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.